Guten Abend, bonsoir, buonasera, hola, and yo. For the Spurs people out there. Yo, welcome to another episode of Eurostars, where we will be talking about today's Champions League fixtures that saw AC Milan put on a show pre-match. And then not quite the show on the pitch, but still enough to overcome a limp, stale Tottenham Hotspur. Another Antonio Conte disaster class. Do we see a smile on Mo's face when I say that? We will get into it. Meanwhile, over in Paris, like I kind of predicted from the start of the season, this PSG Galacticos, collection of Galacticos ain't it. Uphill task. I think in the end they might have earned a draw when Mbappe came on, but we will get stuck into it. People very, very welcome. Eurostars is in the building, and I've got 4 of the Eurostars with me as well. Of course, my co-host, Mr. Bilal. I know you're probably not going to sleep tonight for your game tomorrow, and watching Spurs play football probably nearly put you to sleep.
100%. Tottenham you know what? To be honest, right, I'm a little bit surprised. I thought this would be the one game where they could rise, not only because of their form as of late. They beat City, then they get battered by Leicester. I'm like, okay, they've still got something to prove. It's Champions League, away from home, San Siro. But and you know, like Milan have been so bad. We talk about them every week. Like they are one of the poorest sides out of the top teams in Europe. And for Tottenham to go there today and should have lost 2-3-0, shouldn't just have been 1, right? So for them, they got away with 1. So now going on, like losing 1-0, going back to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, for them, they're probably happy, thinking, you know what, maybe we can get this one back at home. But yeah, I'm shocked by their performance in a way. Should I be shocked? Am I giving them too much credit?
I don't know. Why are you shocked? I'm listening to you. I'm thinking, why are you shocked?
Yeah, I don't know if I should be shocked, because I look at them. We know Conte's record in Europe. We know what they've been playing like. So maybe I shouldn't be shocked. But it's because I don't rate this Milan team. This is why maybe I'm shocked. I think that's more what it is. That Milan team is poor. And for you to play in that way and really get dominated, I don't know. For me, it just spells trouble. And if I was a Tottenham fan, I'd be really worried, not just for this Champions League campaign, but the Premier League season as a whole. Because a week ago, we were talking about top 4 charge. This could maybe happen. Doesn't seem likely now. Bentancur getting injured, etc. I don't know. It's tough times. It's tough times for Tottenham.
It's tough times. It's tough time for Tottenham. It's tough time for PSG as well, Noel, man. I know we're going to get into the game, but just overall, that's the 3rd defeat in 3 different competitions. Ain't easy out there.
Yeah, it's not. It's like they can't turn it on and off like a tap when they like. The team looks like it's Asian up top. There was no pace today until Mbappe came on. They look limp, man. They look like the away team. They look like the team that was just there to minimize Bayern's threat. But yeah, it's not easy at the moment for PSG. I don't see a Champions League coming for them anytime soon, to be honest.
And that's the way we like it, Mo. That's the way we like it. That's the way I like it. I don't want PSG ever to win the Champions League. I think it'll be amazing if Man City and PSG, 2 plastic clubs. Well, not PSG actually. Actually, maybe I do a disservice to PSG calling them a plastic club. But Man City and PSG, wouldn't it be beautiful if they never won the Champions League despite spending billions into the club?
I'm not gonna comment on that, but
thought you're not. I tried to reel him in, but he wouldn't.
I know you did.
He wouldn't. He was listening, and he was like, "Shit, I'm not gonna do this. And he stayed strong. Fair play.
People, listen. You gotta hit that like button first. Listen, we're here to talk about the Champions League. First thing, you step onto the stream and it looks like this, it's free. It doesn't cost you a penny. Just hit it. It looks like this underneath the live chat. And thanks for having me. You guys want to talk about the games? I just have one thing. League is not a real one. It's not a real league. And Spurs, to be honest, they actually should have been 2-3-0 down, and this game should have been done and over. Talking about Premier League, this Milan team is one of the worst Milan sides I've seen in my lifetime, and I've been a football fan regularly for 28 years, and I have not seen a worse Milan side than this, and it should have been 2-3-0.
It was the atmosphere. I don't know, Michael, if you caught the show they put on. That was Champions League anthem, Milan Stadium. This was European heritage, but on the pitch, they so far off it, man. Like what Mo says, this AC Milan, and maybe we'll start with the Milan Spurs game. We'll tuck straight into it. It was just such a mid Champions League tie, right, Michael? Spurs looked worse, and we already been cussing Milan for weeks on Eurostars. So, what did we expect?
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the lineups just from before the game, it screamed the mid-off. Obviously, the San Siro Champions League nights, I like to say, it has that aura. That's a legendary stadium, legendary UCL club. But when you look at the lineups, you saw the goalkeeper matchup. Let's start with there. You have Richarlison, who's probably one of the worst goalkeepers in all the world. Not even Europe, just all of the world. This guy is absolutely horrible. And you got Forster. He's so bad that Spurs were trying to get Ben Foster out of retirement, who's doing YouTube with Mark Goldbridge right now. That's how bad Forster is. They were trying to get Ben Forster to sign for them. So let's just start with that. The midfield, I actually rate Pape Matar. I actually wanted him to play more for Senegal, so he's a good player. But no Bentancur, no Højbjerg through suspension, no Basuma. So that was stunk. Emerson Royale is still playing games. Heung-min Son fell off the face of a cliff ever since winning the Golden Boot last season. Maybe Dan Juma probably should start. Kulusevski had a stinker. Harry Kane, another big night, nowhere to be seen. He's not trying to defeat the allegations placed on him. So, I don't know. It just screamed the mid-off. You would hope when you say mid-off, you're like, they're so bad that maybe they could put an entertaining game forward. Sometimes that happens. The case.
I can't disagree with what he says, Bilal, man. I didn't have much expectations. I everywhere I spoke about the game yesterday, I said don't watch it. It's going to be one of the most boringest games to watch. The quality is going to be so off. Spurs under Conte. Well, I think we were laughing just before air, and Spurs fans might not like this, but I think someone mentioned that Conte's now got a worse knockout record than Avram Grant. When will it end, Robbie? When will it end?
Now, with Tottenham, I just want to say, first of all, is the Premier League the real Farmers League? Because Kulusevski, what's going on? You've gone back to Italy and you're putting up stinkers. You're at Juventus, they didn't rate you. You've come to England, we're saying you're one of the best right wingers in the league. Now, all of a sudden, you go back to Italy, you're getting hooked off. I'm just saying, the Premier League might not be it, And when you get teams like Tottenham going to the Champions League and they're putting up these performances, just doesn't help the matter. I look at this Tottenham team and I don't know where they go from here. Like, how do they improve? I don't know. Someone tell me.
You might win the game, actually. Like, if you look at these two teams, and I think Grizz summarized it really well. Don't watch the game. Any of these teams can go through in the second leg. Both teams are so poor.
So bad.
Unbelievable.
I agree. I don't think it's over. Even though the Spurs were so limp and lame and stale today, that Milan can be turned over just like that. Just like that. Shout out to Saeed, who's actually out in Barcelona. We're going to do a preview of their game with Arsenal, with Man United, Barcelona, Man United later on, probably in the week. But we're going to talk up that. Concentrate. Make sure you come back. You must come back with the results, Saeed.
Oh, that's what. What's his pressure? No.
Don't do that.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
You must come back with the results.
No, Sandro Martinez in that game. Don't worry about it.
But let's get back to the matters in hand. Oh shit. Bilal's gone because he's at the screen, but hopefully he'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, he's back. I don't know if he's gonna have his shared screen back. Are you back?
Yeah, I'm back.
You're gonna pull up that screen for us 2 seconds? Because I mean, look, what do you want to do with that team? I don't know. Bilal asks where do you go with this Spurs team? So look, first and foremost, let's not be hypocrites, guys, because whenever any one of our teams, Arsenal, Liverpool, United, Inter, when we have injuries, we speak on it, all right? And we like to be realistic and say, look, this many injuries, this situation is dire, right? Pardon the pun. But no Lloris, right? Longley comes in. The midfield is decimated. I mean, talk to me. Oliver, Skip, and Sarr. Now, by all accounts, I thought Sarr put up a decent enough show. I don't know who wants to speak on it, but that is a lot of injuries. Come on, guys.
That's not an excuse. No, that's not an excuse. I'm sorry.
You're ruthless today because we already know what team you support. So go on, but someone's got to back up Spurs. Yeah,
you're not going to Milan with Seedorf and Pirlo and Gattuso. You're going to Krunic. Salah, I can never say that guy's name. It's like
Salamakers.
Yeah, that one. You're going.
He's a baller.
Diaz, one day he plays good, and the other day he doesn't play good. Leao, anonymous for weeks. Yeah, Leao, anonymous for weeks, and all of a sudden he's looking like the best player in the world, right? I'm sorry, you can't have this excuse going to a team as poor as Milan this season and telling me you've got injuries when you spent a lot of money in the summer. You've still got a quality squad. You've got a quality manager. You should be doing better. That's just my opinion.
I'll echo that because
shit, you're gonna weigh in as well. No. Okay, go on. You lot are bullies today.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to echo it because. Look, when Spurs had a fully fit squad, they were still inconsistent as hell, losing to teams like Porto. The displays being poor. They play well one time and then they go crazy shit again.
Well, yeah, the best example is beating Man City 1 week and then losing 4-1 at Leicester literally 5 days later.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. That shows you it's a disjointed team. It's a team that doesn't. They're not all pulling in the same direction. It's like a mismatch of players, whether it's Conte's system or the players are just not pulling for him. I'm not too sure, but they have no excuse with regards to injuries. If we saw that they were doing well and consistent, and then there was a drop off after the injuries, then yeah, but I don't see that.
Mo, any sympathy from you? Because look, I've rattled on 4 or 5 starters, man.
A little bit. However, when you have Kulusevski, who you gave us headache that he's one of the best players in the Premier League, and you have Harry Kane, the best striker in the history of football, and you have Heung-min Son, he's came back to his best form.
Okay,
you talk to me about Romero. Hear me out.
Violence. Chose violence.
No Ben Nasser, no Tomori, no Manyan in goalkeeper. Not even Serginho Dest, not even Calabria. Nobody from this team is fit from Milan. However, the problem with Spurs is that I don't think that the players are playing for Antonio Conte. When you have a coach that publicly announced that he's leaving at the end of the contract, which is the end of the summer, why would you want to play? Wow. Why would you want to play? It's very strange that I don't see Harry Kane putting as much effort as he was last year. I don't see Heung-min Son wanting to play again. It's very strange to me. While to be honest, I saw Milan, they were fighting for every single ball. Even though they're mediocre, they were fighting for every single ball. For Spurs, I don't think so. And Christian Romero is not it. He isn't.
Thank you. Finally.
Okay. Look, I was gonna come to Michael to say any sympathy because Bilal, Noor, and Mo, you lot just chose violence on poor Spurs, right? I have a feeling, Michael, you're just gonna come in with a knockout blow, and you ain't looking to lift up the wounded Spurs on the floor right now. You're not looking to help them up.
Not really, to be honest. They spent they spent like 60 million on Richarlison when they needed other players, and he's like on the bench. Christian Romero, I agree with Mo. That guy's not good. He's just there. It's only because he does nice slide tackles and he shows aggression that he gets ready. Because I saw Theo Hernandez absolutely bully him today. He bullied him. And Mo talking about the second ball. That first goal came just from Milan winning the second ball, the aerial duels. Theo Hernandez bodied Romero in the air. Raheem Diaz, I don't think that guy has scored since October. I'm pretty sure that's the last time he scored, and he scored on them. So I don't feel bad for them. They deserve what they get, to be honest.
Channel member Captain Sal says Brazilian Pigeon Man is useless. So, we all do predictions at the start of the season, like best player, who's going to win who's going to get into the Champions League, top scorer, Ballon d'Or. There was also one question I was put on one show I was on, and I was asked who's going to be the worst transfer of the season. And I said this brother here, Richarlison. Can anyone... Okay. First and foremost, he's had an injury. I get it. But overall, I think Bilal said it, or one of you just said it. Like, how are you spending 60 million on this guy? Yeah. And he's not 60 million for a club like Man City or Chelsea that buy 50, 60 million pound players and use them as squad members because they can do that shit. This is Spurs spending 60 million, who cry that they haven't got no money, yet they're spending 60 million pound on a player that doesn't even look like he's going to start a game for them. Surely this was a game to start him, guys. Maybe show a bit of ambition, do something different. It's literally relying on Harry Kane, that attack. Could anybody make sense of this transfer at the start of the season? And how do they feel about it now? Free hand, anyone?
I could make sense of it if Conte wasn't in charge and the system. Yeah. I mean, that system that he's playing is hampering him a lot. I could see a situation where he plays up top and Harry Kane in behind him, where he may flourish. But as you said, in his career so far, he's been like a mediocre type of striker. He hasn't hit the top level. He hasn't warranted, like, first a move from Watford to Everton for crazy money, and then from Everton to Spurs, where his money jumped up further. And I was like, I don't see this guy being a difference maker. However, in a system that's conducive to his abilities, you can maybe have an argument to say, yes, we can use him, but not as an out and out full.
So let's talk about the system that he was used to as Everton. I mean, where do you guys see, Bilal, where do you see his best position, his best role? Because at Everton, he played a variety of roles. Yeah. I think ultimately he was probably best off Calvert-Lewin in a two just behind him. I don't know if you guys disagree or agree. For Brazil, it seems to be main man. Like, not when I say main man, like number 9.
Yeah, for me though, I actually think he's a number 9. Like, even when Arsenal, my team, after Aubameyang, we're looking at strikers, I was like, you know what, I like Richarlison. I like his profile. I like the way he can run off behind defenders, his physicality in the box. He's a bit of a threat as well. I like him, right? But I think Tottenham's just a wrong move. Look, going to Tottenham when there's Kane, Son, all of these sort of players there, it's a bit of a weird one. So in my opinion, I think, like, it sounds mad, and I even saw links recently as well. I think yesterday, a move even to like a Real Madrid for him would have made more sense than Tottenham, right? If they were willing to invest in him and let him play up front at times, I think he actually would have done a good job. But Tottenham, for me and him, just don't suit. Even Chelsea tried to hijack that deal in the summer. If they did that, boy, you never know.
I have a very strange opinion about Richarlison, to be honest.
Go on, let's hear it.
Because I lived the period where Antonio Conte signed for Inter and cried about signing Lukaku for Manchester United, and the board said it's too expensive. And then at the end, they went and signed him, and he went to score 50 goals for Inter in 2 seasons. He signed Richarlison for 60 million, which is, at that time, Inter had money. And then he thought that this can be the guy that can be partnered with Harry Kane up top. As Bilal said, he's a number 9. He plays for Brazil, number 9. He played for Everton as a second striker with Calvert-Lewin sometimes, and also he played by himself sometimes. But I think Antonio Conte didn't see in training what he thought he's getting. And that's why even when young man's son is poor, he doesn't take him out and play with 2 strikers. If you remember at Chelsea, most of the time, it was Fabregas coming off the bench, and he's playing Eden Hazard and Costa up top. And at Inter, he played Lukaku with Lautaro Martinez up top because he likes having two strikers. And I thought he's getting a number 9. I think Antonio Conte actually did not watch Richarlison enough. I think the board got Richarlison for him and thought, hey, here's a number 9. As you wanted at Chelsea, as you wanted at Juventus, as you wanted at Inter. You wanted a number 9? Here we go. One of the most sold number 9 in the Premier League. Richarlison, 60 million. Here you go. But then I think this guy, because in my opinion, Richarlison is no different than Calvert-Lewin. Footballing ability, zilch. Maybe they can score goals of crosses, the fight here and there. But I think footballing ability, Richarlison has nothing to offer. No passing, no dribbling, no speed, nothing. What does he offer? Nothing. And he's not even the strongest. He's not Lukaku. He's not Harry Kane. So this is my shot. Sometimes coaches, they sign a player and they see in practice he's not good enough. And they just put him on the bench because, Grizz, you said it. Sometimes he comes off the bench very, very late in desperation time.
It's a weird signing. I mean, I agree mostly in terms of his attributes. Michael, I don't know if you want to add or subtract anything that the others have said about him and the signing, or maybe it's the wrong club for him. Because look, people saw him in World Cup. He can perform in the right environment. He performed at Everton in the right environment. You have to have things going for him. You know, when I mean things going for him, like you need crosses into the box. He's that type of guy. He loves attacking the ball. I think he's more aggressive than Mo probably thinks. I like his aggressiveness. Yeah, technically for a Brazilian, he ain't that. But I mean, is it just a wrong move at the wrong time, wrong club, wrong coach?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, if Spurs were to play with like a 3-5-2, you would need wing backs that could cross, right? Before they got Pedro Porro, they didn't really have wing backs that would cross like that. Emerson Royale ain't delivering a cross that's good. Perisic can, but he doesn't really cross that much anymore. I think it was the wrong club at the wrong time. I think he almost went to Barcelona. He's been linked with a lot of big clubs.
Yeah, he was linked with a lot of big clubs.
But yeah,
I mean, would you guys have taken him at Arsenal and United?
There was a time I wanted him. I would have taken him 100%. I thought we could have given him that responsibility that he needs to play in, week out, and actually perform. Right, I think he's one of those players, like when he was at Watford, he had responsibility, the main man. At Everton, yes, Calvert-Lewin came into some form, but Richarlison was the main man. Brazil, main man. When you go to Tottenham now, all of a sudden he's got Kane in front of him. He's never going to be the main man. So it's one of those ones where I think it's just it's just a wrong move. Whether that can change in the future if they sell a Harry Kane and then give him that responsibility, say, Richarlison, carry this club, everyone's going to play like to help you. Pretty much, and he's got that ability, the work rate. I think he's a good player. It's just not the right system and team around him right now.
No, let's get into the game and the winning goal, the only goal very early on. As I said, before the game started, the atmosphere was proper Champions League, like heritage stuff. Yeah, the goal was anything but. It was just Giroud, wasn't it? Was it Giroud that bullied Romero on the?
No, it was Hernandez.
Hernandez, I beg your pardon. I mean, Romero is a 6'3" aggressive Argentinian centre back. Hernandez is a fullback, wing back. You ain't losing out in a duel like that. B, even if you're losing the duel, you're taking the man down with you. Exactly. Both things fucked up. Hernandez gets a shot off. Foster, bless him, saves it. And it just kind of falls into the path of Brahim Diaz. A sloppy-ish goal, surely solely fault of Romero. You can't be bullied like that if you're a self-proclaimed hard man.
Yeah, exactly. If I was in the dressing room with him and the guy puts out this aura that he's a hard man, that he's very aggressive, and then you lose to Hernandez, who literally bullied you, and then
got up and got the I mean, exactly. You could get skinned maybe by him. Yeah. He can put the ball past you because Hernandez done that to loads of people, right, Mo? Hernandez does that for a week in, week out. He can do that shit. But this is an aerial battle both have gone up for, and you've come out crumbling on the floor and eating grass.
Exactly. That's the issue with this situation. When I saw it, I was like, this guy just allowed Hernandez to bully him in the air, and he stayed down. He didn't even know where the ball was. Hernandez went after it, took a shot. Foster saved it, and then the rebound came out for Diaz, who shot, and then there was a great save again. However, then it was on a plate for Diaz. But that, if I was in the dressing room with him, I would have been giving him all sorts. I would have given him the 101 degrees of, bro, you think you're a top man and you allow that to happen? Get out of my face, man.
I actually disagree with both of you guys. Respectfully disagree. So
Go on.
Theo Hernandez is one of the strongest guys in the air. Probably strongest left back in the air, probably in the world at the moment. The fact that he won the header is okay. Defenders will lose headers sometimes. And this was a looping ball. The problem for me was that you lose the header, the ball bounced twice. Theo Hernandez had the chance to take a touch, put it on his left foot, take a shot. Eric Dyer is not defending close enough. Forget Eric Dyer. That's number one mistake. Number two mistake is that Perisic is the one defending on the line with Forster. Longley was nowhere to be found. The whole play went for about like 9 seconds, and Longley was not even the screen. And the two defensive midfielder, remember that Brahim Diaz is a number 10 shifted to be right side. So nobody from the defensive midfielders actually tried even to defend. Brahim Diaz had 3 times on this to go for it. Yes, it was 2, but it bounced in front of him twice, heads it, and then goes again, and then for the rebound. I'm sorry. You are allowed to lose headers. Especially it's a looping ball. Where is the rest of the team?
Yeah,
and it was not last man.
The thing is, Mo, yeah, I understand what you're saying, but it's Romero's reaction that made them relax, because they thought, oh, there's a free kick going on, because the guy just stayed down. He didn't react, like he didn't show desire to get back in. And usually people get off other people's body language. If he got up determined to go get that ball, I'm sure they would have reacted as well. But they thought, oh, he's down. Is it a free kick or not? And then they were in this limbo, and I solely put it down on Romero.
Bill and Michael, are you guys getting let him get away with it and say it's a collective? Ultimately, it's a collective, or is it an individual glaring error? You're on mute.
You're done, Bilal. You're done.
Sorry, I was on mute. I didn't even realize. Yeah,
you're having a stinker today.
Yeah, I guess I am. Listen, when Tottenham lose, man, I'm too happy and things happen, man. No, but I was saying it's not a glaring error.
Okay.
Just because Hernandez got the jump on him, right? It's like he's got a running start on him pretty much. He wins that header. There's not much Romero can do. Yes, he can do better, but when Hernandez is in that position, it's going to be hard to stop him. My problem, though, isn't with Romero. It's the reckless tackles. Should have got maybe sent off what he did to Tonali today, in other games this season as well. He is beyond reckless. He's like a Gabriel Paulista type recklessness. How do you see what he did to Vinicius Jr. the other day? Romero, I don't know. He's a bit unhinged. I need to calm down a little bit. Not a bad defender from what I can see. But when you start doing things like that time and time again, just bad habits, and you're going to end up becoming a liability in your team.
I actually rate him. Here, shock horror. After all this slander, I actually rate him. I liked him at Atalanta. Liverpool were linked with him. I think he does. I think, he gives me Dejan Lovren vibes, where he's doing too much. He wants to do too much. He thinks he can cover everything and everywhere. He thinks he's a Superman defender. Dejan Lovren, I don't know, you non-Liverpool people might not know, right? He had this complex about, I am the best centre-back in the world. I am the most aggressive centre-back in the world. I will win my duel, regardless if I'm playing the Hulk or I'm playing, I don't know, man, Paul Dickoff. Like, you know what I mean? Why Paul Dickoff? What the fuck? Where am I going with Paul Dickoff? But you get what I'm saying. Yeah, but yeah, Pep's on my mind. Yeah, you cannot believe. But
he actually said that before the Champions League final in 2018 against Real Madrid, didn't he?
Yeah,
he said
but you get the mentality thing.
Yeah.
And sometimes you got to just trust the structure of the team and play your role. I think Romero tries to do too much, but look, as Mo says, that can happen. You know, Mo's described Hernandez as one of the best wing backs in the world in terms of in the air, his strength and everything. But Michael, when you go 1-0 down, and I'm looking at this AC Milan team, right? And Bilal was right. What we're looking at here, like, there's nothing really to suggest that Spurs' head should have dropped. Spurs should have gone in their shell, not in their shell, but like you got plenty of time to get back in the game. You're looking for inspiration. Where are you looking, bro? Michael, where are you looking for inspiration?
I mean, you're meant to be looking at what people call the best front three in the Premier League before the season started. That's what everyone called it. Kulusevski, I rate Kulusevski highly, but he was a no-show today. Like I said earlier, Harry Kane in the big games. Where you at, bro? You're meant to be the best striker in the Premier League. Everyone's talking about your record, 200 club goals and everything like that. Nowhere to be found. And Heung-min Son, I think he's only scored like in 3 total games this season. He scored a couple against Preston. People got gas from that. He's played that striker. He scored a hat trick against Leicester. I think Dan Juma should have came on. Like, I don't know. Like, you signed him for a reason.
Was he on the bench, Bilal? Can you double check that for us, please? Was Dan Juma and Richarlison options for him?
Yeah, so they were.
Must have been. Yeah, he was on the bench, came on. Richarlison as well, obviously came on as well. So, listen, Tottenham, with a Heung-min Son especially, I think he's just finished, man. It's one of those ones. Sometimes players like him who have all that pace, it can just die quick. I remember guys, even though Rooney never had that mad pace, remember how he just declined? It's like, I felt like overnight Rooney just died, right? And Heung-min Son seems to be on that level. When you're not really that good of a footballer, like Son, I don't think he's a great footballer. It's one of those ones you can't really keep up and your body starts letting you down, I'd say.
He's a player that plays on intensity. What's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, intensity, like sort of directness and off the mark speed.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like just the thrust he brings. He showed it against Man City though. Just a couple of weeks ago, you saw a couple of times, you saw, yo, that's Son, he's back. He accelerated away from Rodri and Bernardo and these guys, and you think to yourself, that's the Son we're looking for. And you're right. Since then, he's gone back to it. And he's not the only one. Liverpool have seen a few players that have gone like suddenly overnight. Man City, the likes of Bernardo Silva, Kevin De Bruyne, don't look themselves, have suddenly lost that energy and spark for whatever reasons. They played a lot of football these days. But the point being, that's fine. But if you've got the likes of Richarlison and Dan Juma that you've brought in, this is a Conte issue, no? This is a Conte. Conte needs to utilize his squad. He's very stubborn when it comes to changes, especially when it comes to changing a formation mid-game.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of allegations towards Conte with regards to that. He doesn't like change. He holds on to a team or formation a bit too long, especially when things are going wrong. And sometimes that could be a good thing where he allows the players or the team to find rhythm and make their way out of it. However, when you see that the team is not functioning exactly how you want them to, and you've had them for about a year now, right? He should be able to, especially if a lot of these are his signings. If he's signing these players to come in, he needs to start trusting them more. And I think he has a trust issue, to be honest. Unless a player doesn't impress him too well, I don't think he trusts him in big games or in big situations.
He's got to do something, Mo. He's got to do something, because as soon as Milan took the lead, I genuinely thought, that's it. Nothing's going to happen.
They held it together. Actually,
but they held it together. Yes. Why? Because Milan are shit.
Exactly.
There's nothing to fear from this Milan team. So I'm not giving them credit. Like, you guys didn't give credit to Spurs with the injuries when I thought you might. now you guys are wanting to give Spurs credit for holding it together.
I'm not gonna. They were lucky to get out of 1-0. To be honest, it's a good result for Spurs. If you give me, it comes down to this, right? For this game, both teams were bad, but Milan actually created more chances. If you're gonna give me £100 today and tell me who would you put this £100 on, who's going through, I probably would put it on Spurs, to be honest.
Possibly still Spurs, yeah.
I would, if you ask me, if you give me £100, I'll put it on Spurs just because Milan did not capitalize on this opportunity. To be honest, they should have scored. The Catalan should have scored one. It was wide open. Messias should have scored as well, and Rafael Leao actually dropped a stinker today. I know that it looked.
Well, we're gonna come on to Rafael Leao and Bilal, man.
Actually,
We're gonna talk.
He wasn't great. He was playing. He was so arrogant today. And he actually expressed that last week when he said, I want to win the Champions League. And he said, I want to win multiple trophies with a team and individually. It looks like he grew out of this team. He doesn't want to be there. He's just playing because it's Milan team that put him on the picture, to be honest. I don't think he plays for the team. Today, he was trying shots from 35 yards out.
It's his chance, man.
Eunice says Leao is such a social media player. Michael and Bilal, take it away. Either one of you. Rafael Leao, the debate continues. Is he ready for a big move away? Has he done enough to warrant this price tag of 100 million euros? What's going on? What's your opinion on the guy? I think he flatters to deceive, personally. But Michael, Bilal, what you used to saying?
I'll go first. With Rafael Leao, I mean, obviously, last season he carried pretty much him and Teo kind of helped carry them to Serie A. But this season, I think Milan's poor form has a direct correlation to Rafael Leao. Like Mo's right, he's frustrated, obviously, because I remember he didn't start in the Milan derby. That's like your best attacker. And
why? Why is that, guys?
I don't remember the reason.
Is that a
Grizz? He's not interested.
Is that a disciplinary issue?
Came off the other day because of that as well.
So, yes, bro. When you have a player like that, and for me, I think he's a very frustrating player. It's kind of this new generation of the wingers that you see. A lot of them, that especially on the left wing, a lot of them is kind of like similar to Marcus Rashford in a sense. I think Leao's a very similar profile to Marcus Rashford. But I always say Marcus Rashford is a more versatile player in my opinion because you see him play through the middle. But Rafael Leao, like I saw him every single time he got the ball. It was the Ronaldo chop inside, and a couple times he shot it 35 yards out, and the ball like got sliced and went like back to Rosie. I think. For me, if he's gonna make that move, looking at the clubs that will buy him, Man City, I think Pep will bench him within 5 games, in my opinion. Arteta is not someone that has very if you don't listen to his instructions, he'll throw you to the side as well. So it's very interesting to see where Leao can make that jump because there's not many clubs he could actually make the jump to when you look at his price. Because as a winger, if Modric's 100 million, Rafael Leao would be that much because he has a CV, he has a resume. So. I don't know with him because he seems like a player that wants to be that guy, number one, but I don't think he's that kind of level.
I disagree with you. I think he's brilliant. I think he thinks he's bigger than the club. And I think he's absolutely brilliant today. Today, like when he turned it on, he was like a level above everybody on the pitch. Everybody. Mm-hmm. When he took but it looks like the guy is not interested anymore. One of the things about Rafael Leao is that he's very similar in body language to Martial. Like he's very frustrating. He doesn't move off the ball enough. When he gets the ball, he's so relaxed that you don't see that intensity. And that requires someone like Jurgen Klopp, that requires someone like Pep that will put the fire in him to play regularly with intensity. And I think Pioli is just, as Bilal said, takes him off most of the time, sometimes doesn't start him. And I think the guy just knows this is my last 3-4 months with this club. We're not going to win the league and we're not going to win Champions League. I'm just going to put individual performances. I'm just going to try to look good. And then
you don't think he's going to extend?
No, if he extends, he's going to extend for them to get more money.
Mm-hmm. So you think possibly or probably summer transfer?
100%. This is what the papers are saying in Italy, that he already publicly said that. So there is no coming back from this.
Oh shit, Bilal. If that's the case, what kind of clubs will be looking at Rafael Leao? What kind of price tags we looking at for Rafael Leao?
It has to be like a City, but it'd probably be 80 million plus at this point. You spend 100 million on Grealish, Modric's going for 100 million. Leao is going to cost in that range. I don't really rate him as much as Mo does. I know Mo loves him, right? Despite everything he said about his attitude, thinking he's bigger than Milan, etc.
Well, the reports are mixed in the chat as well. Some people are saying, some people are saying,
yeah. You can definitely see his talent. Like even today, second half, there's some moments where you're like, whoa. there's a player there, the pace, the drive that he can do. It's like, okay, I see why people would like him. But for me, I look at Leao and it's one of those ones like, is it worth spending 80 million plus on him? Yeah, the only clubs I can see is like a Man City. Today, watching Bayern, when we got into them, like Kingsley Coman, that's a proper winger, man. Like, he might not be, the injuries that stopped him, but you play Kingsley Coman, I know exactly what I'm going to get 10 times out of 10. Someone like Leao, I don't know. And I think that's the issue. That's why I like the Kvaratskhelia, because I know what I'm going to get from him. Leao, question marks, man.
Well, look, enough of the dead teams. It will be a shock if whoever gets through to the next round, unless I don't know who they might play or who they could play. It will be a shock. I mean, stranger things have happened. We know shit happens, man. But right now, these two look probably the weakest teams, I'd say, in the Champions League, left in the Champions League. But we go on to the Champions League game of the night. PSG Noor versus Bayern Munich. We already know PSG tried to fix their squad with a few shrewd signings, the likes of Soler, Vitinha, the injured guy, the Portuguese guy who always injured.
Renato Sanchez.
Who?
Renato Sanchez.
Renato Sanchez, that's right. But after all of that, when you look at their team, I didn't think... I think they're lucky to get away with 1-0, even though we're going to get on to the last 15 minutes. Overall, there was a golfing class for 75 minutes, in my opinion.
Yeah, 100%. Bayern, the thing I liked about Bayern, they were super, super compact. So they knew that PSG had no pace up front, so they could push and knock PSG down in their own half. And it worked a treat. The only issue with Bayern, they didn't have someone that was a killer. They're missing like a Lua up top that could, absolutely.
Sadio, Lua. Well, Lua's gone, but Sadio injured. Yeah,
exactly. And they pinned them back nicely. And PSG did look like the away team. I know that the away goals have been ruled out now. However, they just looked lethargic. A team that looked like they were aging, that were just happy to just get away with as much as they could. They weren't a team that was bringing their game to Bayern Munich, and it tells with like an old Messi, getting older Neymar, who lost a bit of pace, because you saw when he had that chance when a young geezer put him through, Zaire put him through, and he just couldn't get there. And PSG are just looking like a team that just needs a super refresh, where they just need a load of young players in and around that team, and just build like that with a few older heads to guide them. But yeah, they're not looking too good.
Mo, I think Noor makes a very good point. A few older heads or experiences, or whatever you want to call it. For me, there's way too many in this team. I've made my feelings clear before about Pereira. I don't think he should be a big club. Like, I think Soler is very average. I think Ramos, Champions League pedigree, one of the all-time greats of the Champions League. But, even Verratti, man, it's just a mishmash of players. It's just a mishmash of systems. I agree with Noor that I thought the manager Gaultier, I think he was banking on to stay in the game, and then in 3 weeks' time, his players will be more fitter. He may have recovered a few players. Mbappe will have recovered full fitness. Neymar, Messi may be in better shape. I think he tried to play as tight as possible. I'm not sure if it suited PSG.
It was almost perfect, right? If it wasn't for Donnarumma's mistake, this game could have ended 0-0 or even 1-0 PSG. However, you're not PSG signing the 200 million pound Neymar and a 250 million Mbappe, and signing the best player in the world, Lionel Messi, and signing this and that to at home defend against a struggling Bayern in Bundesliga. This is not the football this people signed out. Like, people thought that PSG would play this expensive football. Today, it looked like kids. Again, it looked like a championship team playing against a Premier League team in an FA Cup.
This is why they sacked Pochettino, for this kind of approach. Let me put it out there.
And then today you got Messi and Neymar, and you got Ashraf Hakimi. He couldn't get a sniff on that right side in the first 75 minutes. You got Mendes, one of the quickest wing backs, and you're not letting them go play football. You're telling them to stay compact. Yes, Bayern Munich did not create enough chances in the first half, clear cut, but it looked like the players are very comfortable. Jamal Musiala was dribbling outside the 18, winning free kicks. What are they doing? What's the brand of football they want to give us? I'm not getting it. And long may it continue, as you say, Grizz, because I don't want this club, to be honest, to go through. You're signing every player around, and you're giving Mbappe the keys to Paris, and then you're playing football like this. The only positive thing is Mbappe, half fit, is explosive. However, Neymar, come on, man, just stop diving, stop doing this and that, and just play some football. Lionel Messi, great and all in Argentina. Again, this game, he wasn't in the game at all, by the way. People keep talking about Messi. Now I'm watching Messi 90 minutes. He wasn't in the game. He's too slow to play at this level. Again, it's these Kimmich, Goretzka, De Ligt. He's very aggressive. He's too slow for this. He might do something individually every now and then, but in the big picture, this is maybe why they are compact, because Neymar and Messi cannot be part of a team that can defend collectively.
I'm always intrigued when I see a Nagelsmann team, Bilal. I'm always intrigued in terms of how he's going to set up. He's just he's like almost like the Pep, isn't he? Like, I don't know. He's German, isn't he?
Yeah, he's German.
Yeah. The German Pep. Like, he's so un-German in terms of he's all about expressing and you know, but even he started off with a more reserved formation and selection of players than he usually does. Davis didn't start. Gnabry didn't start. So he plays Cancelo. He plays a back three: Pavard, Upamecano, and De Ligt, who I thought De Ligt finally had a very good game. It's been ages since I've seen De Ligt have a good game. Yeah. Even he was slightly more reserved as well, because, as Mo says, the confidence levels weren't high in Bayern either. But PSG, when they realized PSG were a bit of a mishmash, they had control of proceedings without making it count until Donnarumma gifts them a goal. I mean, that was a very similar pass. It wasn't a similar pass because Enzo played it inside from his right foot, but sort of a very similar finish to Felix's, right? Kingsley Coman gets a nice connection to it. But Donnarumma, man, a man of his caliber, no.
Yeah, he should be doing better there, but it's one of those ones when you're such a big goalkeeper, that can happen, I guess. You can't get down quick enough to make that save, but he should have made that save there. But yeah, Bayern are playing some interesting football here. It's like, I call Nagelsmann, it's like me on Football Manager. That's what it is. He is just like experimenting all the time. And you love watching Bayern because every time it's something different. The game against Frankfurt, it's like Kimmich in the midfield by himself. It's like 5 strikers. And it's just Kimmich in there. And you got inverted fullbacks, some centre backs trying to come in and help. Today you got 3 at the back.
It's mad.
Can I show you? Look, let me show you the average position.
Oh, this is going to be interesting. Yeah. Are you serious?
Can you see that? That's Bayern Munich's average positioning. How narrow they were.
Wow.
Sword.
I mean, I don't know what to make of that.
Lorisani was playing as a number 10, Grizz, like an actual playmaker today. Lorisani was leaving the side to Cancelo, and he was always going through Cancelo, who put in some good crosses, but of course they don't have a striker. Choupo-Moting is actually a false 9 most of the time. But this is, as Bilal said, this
I don't know what to make of that.
Experiments. This is tactical experiments.
Exactly. I mean, go on, Bilal. I mean, I'm astounded. Where's the left wing back or whatever? Like number 11. Who's number 11?
That's Coman.
So he was going out, but then he would come in. It's like, it's confusing. You don't really know how to deal with it, and that's why, they're just fascinating to watch how they play. But also, we have. Go on.
Yeah, no, he changed it up when as soon as Mbappe came on, and look the way the team shape changed as soon as Mbappe came up. So let me click this.
Yeah.
See, now he knew that the wide areas would be a problem because of the guy's pace.
But so we'll get into that aspect of the game, right? We'll get to that stage of the game. But again, at that stage, Michael, Neymar. Now, thoughts on Neymar's performance, thoughts on Neymar, where he's at with his career now, right now. No Mbappe, of course, he was injured. He didn't start. Messi is just Messi. He's old now. Come on, he's done everything in life. He's completed life, man. Messi is just there, isn't it? Neymar, this is the time where PSG fans or many Neymar fans around the world want to see something different. Bring the X factor. Show me something. He didn't do it again, did he?
Yeah, I don't know if Balak can pull the line up real quick because I want to say some things about PSG, about my future brother club. Soon we're gonna be brothers over there with Qataris. But starting with I think actually Sergio Ramos for me was probably PSG's best player today. I thought he was really good defensively because they were playing so compact. He was intercepting everything. He rolled back the days. Nuno Mendes, he was absolutely fantastic. He's probably one of the best young left backs in the world.
Very, very quickly, I'm so sorry. Very quickly,
Yeah.
I said he's one of the most underrated players in a big game, big names team. Like I personally, and I've said it for a little while now, I personally put him in the top 3 fullbacks in world football. I think he's magnificent left back.
Yeah.
And you got to remember, he has to do overtime when he plays for PSG. Overtime.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think Messi had the chance to sign him at their left back, and they blew the chance on that. They were offered, and he's going to be phenomenal. Donnarumma, I thought he's been overrated for like a year and a half now. I said when Milan upgrade, I said Milan upgrade on him with Mike Mainan, and I will stand by that for the rest of the time. I think Donnarumma is very overrated. Marco Verratti, I rate him very highly, but that was one of the worst midfielding performances I've ever seen in my life. Danilo Pereira does not deserve to be in a top 5 league, and for 75 minutes, PSG looked like a team that shouldn't have even been in Conference League. The build-up play was so bad. I almost fell asleep. Like by the 30th minute mark, I started feeling myself dozing off because they were not playing football. I don't know what they were playing. Zaire Emery, he's 16 years old, so I'm not even gonna get onto him. He has a future.
Yeah.
And the front two, I'll put this on Galtier first of all. You're trying to play transition ball with Messi and Neymar as your outlets. What is the plan? Those guys cannot run anymore. Neymar, I love him, one of my favorite players of all time, but he has lost that yard of pace, like Nur said. It's just not there anymore. You can see it. And maybe like in a tight 5-yard, he has the dribbling ability to get past you, but in a sprint, he's not beating anyone. Messi, he was walking around for 70 minutes. Messi fans will say, "Oh, it's because he's helping build up play," but he was just walking around. Yes, obviously, when he got on the ball, it was magic. That's what we expect from Lionel Messi, but it's just not there. And I remember people earlier in the year said Mbappe was holding back and Neymar and Messi. That's just not true because when Mbappe came on, which we'll talk about soon, he looked like a different PSG. So for me, PSG. Funnily enough, I criticize them all this, but I still have them going through because in 3 weeks' time, they'll be more fit. But they're lucky to get away with 1-0 because it should have been 3-4-0 by halftime. And if Bayern Munich had a Sadio Mane or Lewandowski up top, this tie would have been over because Nagelsmann, I've been critical of him before, but this guy big-brained today. It was like a 3-1-5-1 or something like that. He was playing Football Manager, like moving stuff around, and he did fantastic. Jamal Musiala is one of the best young players on the planet. His
Magic Musiala, I call him. I've named him Magic Musiala.
It's like watching Bambi. The way he just like glides on the pitch is beautiful. And we talk about Neymar. Musiala was the one that was performing like a Neymar you expect Neymar to perform. That's what Musiala looked like today. It's like kind of like you're looking at a future Neymar in a sense in terms of that dribbling ability. And I think for Neymar and Messi should be kind of ashamed of themselves because you are those guys, especially with Mbappe out. You're meant to be the leaders of that club. You're meant to be the X factors, 2 of the best players on the planet, and they were anonymous. And part of that goes with Galtier and his plan, though. But still,
I want to have a question with you, Grizz. To be honest, looking at these 2 teams now, imagine if Mbappe is back and Sadio Mane is back, and looking at these 2 lineups, leave Choupo-Moting out, put Mane in, and put Soler out, and put Mbappe in. Who would you choose if you put your money on a team
now? Like with the 1-0 and the situation, or
without a 1-0. Now, after you saw these 2 teams play today, imagine if Mane is back and also Mbappe is back, I would choose PSG. I would choose Bayern Munich, to be honest.
I would still choose Bayern Munich. But Mbappe showed in those 15 minutes that he was on the pitch that he's still right now the best player in the world.
I think someone on Twitter said it, they said you could have all these tactics, like I said, Nagelsmann 3-1-5-1 or something like that, but you can't account for killing Mbappe.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't say in those words. What I said was Bayern need to capitalize on this dominance because PSG have got players that don't need team combinations to make a difference. So Mbappe is one of those. He doesn't need a team combination. Neymar as well, and of course Messi as well. But those 15 minutes, because they took the lead and they should have capitalized, Bilal. The tie should. I think Bayern, and fair play to Nagelsmann, I think he sensed that they could finish this tie. He makes a couple of attacking. You'd think he'd solidify it all, but he actually keeps going. Goretzka, you still see driving into the box, leaving Kimmich on his own, like you said, like the Game of Thrones meme, where the guy is just defending against 1,000 horses coming at him or whatnot. But Nagelsmann, I think, did go for the kill. They weren't able to kill. And then, obviously, Gaultier has no choice but to bring on Mbappe and make the changes he does. And in the end, they should have equalized in those 15 minutes. Do you see this tie still open? How do you see the tie now?
It is definitely open now because number one, obviously, Pavard getting that red card is going to change maybe tactically the way Nagelsmann thinks. And yeah, in those last 15 minutes, it was all PSG. They could have scored 2, they could have scored 3. Like it was like half a foot. Mendes was offside on that Mbappe goal. So it really could have been 1-1 so easily. But the moment PSG added some pace, you saw Bayern just crumble. And that is the thing. I think pace really hurts that Bayern team. When you have Upamecano, De Ligt, Pavard, all struggling to turn, all struggling to really get back. And if you add Cancelo as well, who's not a great defender, you add Davis to that, who tries, but he's still as well so far up the pitch sometimes. Listen, you add pace to PSG, who knows what they could do. And that's why Ekitike, I don't know why he's not playing. If there's an issue there or anything, I don't know anyone knows anything.
No,
he's not him injured. Today.
He's not injured.
Not injured, not even coming on. Imagine him today up front, at least with one of Messi or Neymar. You don't need to play both of them because in that first half, you're playing with 8
What do we know about Bayern? What do we know about Bayern that all of us, without having analyzed them on a deep level, we know Bayern play a high line. We know Bayern are susceptible to pace. We know Bayern won't drop. Nagelsmann doesn't believe in that. We know they believe in pressing, right? So Gaultier has to be brave and pick one pacey attacker. Neymar and Messi are not going to run in behind. If you haven't got Mbappe, you need to play someone who's going to run in behind. The most penetrative player they had was bloody Nuno Mendes from left back. So surely that's a Gaultier problem and issue, right?
100%. He's not even getting the criticism of Poch. Is it because he's French? Is that because maybe it feels like, just protect him a little bit? I don't know, right? Because if that was Poch today or Unai Emery, could you imagine how much they'd be getting pelted in the media?
Slaughtered.
And all the results that have come before this for PSG as well. So yeah, listen, for me, going into that next game, you'd fancy Bayern now still, I think. I think you have to fancy Bayern going home 1-0 up. The crowd will be with them. I don't know if Mane is going to be around those times. Even if he's not around, you'd still fancy them. I think they're getting in a good rhythm. They're playing. Nagelsmann gets that team thinking, right? When you change systems as much as they do, the team's actually thinking. With PSG, I don't really know what they're trying to do half the time. Until Mbappe comes on, then you see, okay, we're going forward. Through ball. Then things are getting exciting. Messi and Neymar getting in and around it. But really and truly, PSG don't seem like a team the way Bayern seem like a team. And that's the difference there. But again, it's tight margins. Mbappe could do something and then just blow this whole game
open again.
out. Yeah, exactly.
Noor, how are you looking second leg? How are you thinking? How are you seeing it? Obviously, it's weird because they don't play next week. These round of games are weird where they play them 3 weeks later. So again, the teams could be so different in 3 weeks' time, right?
Yeah, exactly. I still think it's an open game, to be honest, because of Bayern's high line, and PSG can hit you with a couple of combos and use Mbappe's pace and get in behind, or Mendes or Hakimi. They've got like pacey players in that team. However, most of them are playing from deep. They're gonna go for it. They have no choice but to go for it, and so I still think it's open. Depends. It honestly depends on whether Nagelsmann chooses to keep that high line and put high pressure on PSG, and we'll see which one comes off, because one of them is bound to fail. To be honest.
Michael Mo, how you seeing the second leg? I think it's interestingly poised. I still make Bayern slight favourites, but we know X factors, the three X factors for PSG, and if they can somehow create a midfield or pick a midfield or have a midfield that's ready and able to be able to have some possession, controlled possession, it could be dangerous still for Bayern, right, Mo? Or are
It's just
you
a
discounting?
50-50. It's just a 50-50.
You making it 50-50?
Because Mbappe. I agree with you. Listen, you can attack all day, control the ball, one ball over the top, and Mbappe running, and it's 1-0. It's as simple as that. Like we saw today, every time the midfield got the ball and bypassed the press, it's panic station for Bayern Munich. They didn't know. They put De Ligt on the right, they put Pavard on the right, then they switched and put Upamecano on the right. They dropped Serge Gnabry to deal with Mbappe back, and then listen, is the best player in the world, no matter what anybody says, because he is a difference maker and he can make something out of nothing. And this is why it's 50-50.
How you seen it, Michael? 50-50?
Actually, I'm leaning towards PSG. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh,
I think Bayern are gonna rue their.
whoa.
I think Bayern will rue their chance. That's only 1-0. I think PSG are probably the more confident team because that was only a half fit Mbappe. So imagine 3 weeks time when Mbappe's 100%, the damage he could do. And I think actually kind of benefits PSG trailing a little bit because we've always seen them bottle it when they're in the lead. Now they're trailing, so I think it kind of obviously the pressure's still on because they have such high expectation, but it lowers it just a tiny inch. And I think that I don't think Verratti can play a worse game than he did today. I don't think Neymar can play a worse game than he did today. I don't think Messi can play a worse game than he did today. So if that was at their worst and it's only 1-0, when you add the best player in the world against that high line, because Bayern will always play a high line. That's like it's Bayern DNA. No matter what the score is, they're just gonna come with that high line. And I still favor PSG.
I see comment from Yassine saying that look at the record. I looked at the record. They haven't lost a game, but they haven't faced Mbappe. If Mbappe is not there, I would have leaned toward Bayern 80%. But just because of you remember Messi against any team in the last 10 years, you don't know what to expect, and you can't put a percentage on it. You can't put a bet on it because of that X factor there. And it's not Neymar, it's not Messi, it's Kylian Mbappe.
And you saw it the last time he was at Bayern Munich's ground, where he was the X factor that 2 chances, boom, boom, tie over.
What I will say though is for PSG, it's now or never. Now or never for the club. I feel like if they don't get it done this year, with the Qatari news that's coming out, the World Cup's gone and done now. They need to win this Champions League now. If they don't, we don't know the situation of PSG in 12 months' time. If they're gonna still be,
I mean, Messi, will he get renewed? Neymar, will he stay? So many questions. Mbappe, we already know. Like, I know he signed a new contract, but really, we know he wants out. Like, that's all 3 of your Galacticos. Unsure. Ramos, another year older. Marquinhos, another year older. Verratti, I know Michael says that's one of the worst displays, but I've seen Verratti drop awful performances for a little while now, bro. I'm not going to lie to you. Marco Verratti was the next, I don't know who you want to compare him to, had everything to his game, vision, touch, nimble, fast, like almost a cross between Xavi and Iniesta right there. But he's been dropping disaster bomb after disaster bomb. And it's just a combination of the culture at PSG, big boy in a farmers league. And this is what happens. Your performance drops.
I think because of him as well. Apparently, the way he is not a professional, from what I've heard, I don't know if anyone knows, smoking, allegedly, I don't know to say he's doing things he's not doing, but this is what people say. Doesn't really look after himself in the best way. And even not just Verratti, I think Marquinhos as well is a suspicious guy.
I love Marquinhos. I love Marquinhos. Marquinhos is truly down to fuckery with the coaches. No one's got a system in place where you can utilize Marquinhos. I'm not joking. I rate Marquinhos very, very highly. I just think it's just such a flawed mishmash of players, systems. Sometimes Pereira playing at the back alongside him. Then you got an aging Ramos alongside him. You know what I mean? Give him Skriniar on the right and Kimpembe is disgusting.
Oh, I was gonna say the same. Did anybody see the shit housery Kimpembe does on the pitch? Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. How is this guy? The overhype from the Paris Saint-Germain people about this guy. The guy, positioning wise, awful. Building from the back, terrible. Mistakes, terrible. Over aggressive in tackle. Could have gotten a red card today.
Yeah, but he rolls down his shin pads and socks like he's Socrates. Get out of here.
Absolutely horrendous defender, to be honest.
Good vibes though, man. He's good vibes. That's why.
Exactly.
When France won the World Cup, man, his whole Instagram story, man, was fantastic.
Berserker. Sorry, go Mo. No.
Yeah, well, it's an opportunity for PSG to blow this team up and restart in the summer. And get young...
have the owners got the appetite for that?
It's there, the opportunity. Mbappe wants out. Messi's not under contract in the summer. You can maybe keep Neymar and then start.
No, that's not Neymar, bro. Luis Campos is heading Neymar back to Santos.
If you can sell him.
So let's hope it's never. Opportunity. Let's hope and pray it's never. As Bilal said, it's now or never.
Yeah,
let's pray it's never.
I think they're done
see
after this year.
Club lifting the trophy.
Berserker says disrespecting Bayern too much here. I think you go through, man. I think you go through. I'm not disrespecting you. I thought
we praised Bayern.
I thought same here as well.
I thought we praised Bayern too much. Actually,
only Michael, with his wild fantasy shouts about PSG is bigging up PSG.
Bro, it's a one-game knockout. That's all it is. And I'm gonna take the team that's the most clinical. And I think PSG are more clinical than Bayern Munich because they have a killing Mbappe on their team. I was gonna put it as simple as that.
I think Bayern should hold on. It's not going to be easy, of course. You know, when you got X factors like we said, but in the Bayern arena, it's going to be a packed out crowd. Nagelsmann, we've just talked about him formulating plans, and the way he shifted that plan, like Noor showed us in that second half. Saying that though, guys, no, it didn't work though. I mean, I know it looked pretty and like he tried to counter the wings. That was PSG, culminated in PSG having their best spell. So we don't really know how much it did really work. But let's finish off with tomorrow's fixtures, guys. Both ties very balanced. I still think Spurs will go through. Very quickly, Spurs Milan.
I'm going Milan. I just don't want Tottenham to go through. So that's me. Let's go Milan.
No. Milan.
Mo.
I think that Milan are gonna go through because of the injuries at Spurs. Yeah.
Michael.
You know, I'll be different. I'll say Spurs go. I think Harry Kane shows up for once.
I think Spurs go through. PSG Bayern, Bilal.
Bayern.
No.
I think PSG will go for this one.
Mo.
Bayern.
And we already know Michael. He's got PSG. You know what I mean? Flags.
I got the drip right next to my closet.
All right, let's have a quick look at tomorrow's fixtures. What are we saying? I don't know, man. We start off with Club Bruges, Benfica. You know, I'm back in Bruges just because of Mignolet. You know what I mean? My guy right there, Simon Mignolet, gave us some horrible performances, but you know, we a bit of a cult hero, gave us some good ones as well. Became a bit of a hologram near the end. In terms of Benfica, everyone's looking at Otamendi. I'm looking at this Silva guy. Liverpool like him a lot. He's on our list of centre backs that we would like to snare from the Portuguese league. Apart from that, I don't know how to call this, guys. Anybody have any ideas how to call this?
I think this is the end of the line for Club Brugge. To be honest, this is what I think.
Mm.
I think even without this Benfica team screams like quarterfinals Champions League, like with the Joao Marius, the Guedes, the Otamendi's. These guys know how to do the job at this stage, and I think the way they played in the stages, in the group stages, against PSG, against Juventus, I think they're great, and I'm expecting their form to continue. To be honest.
Anyone back in Club Bruges to pull off a shock before we get onto the main tie or the big
Scott
big
Parker,
tournament?
no? That's Scott Parker's little Champions League. What's going on?
Is
Let's see what happens.
is that a bit of a story? Do you reckon you possibly could be a story there, Scott Parker? Huh?
Make a name for
Be a bit
yourself.
mad.
Okay, what's the next game, guys, that we're gonna look at? I mean, I fancy Benfica strongly in that group, just to put it out there in that tie. This one again could be tasty, could be interesting. We got the billionaires of Chelsea versus the probably one of the best buy and sell, sell to buy.
Buy
Buy
to sell,
Buy to
yeah.
sell, buy to sell, buy to sell.
Buy to sell, I beg your pardon. Yeah. So one of the best buy to sell clubs in recent times against one of the worst. What are we saying? How's this one looking?
For me,
Bilal?
I'm going Dortmund, man. Come on. I think Dortmund can do this. I think Sebastian Haller is a game changer. I think him coming back into that team has opened up different possibilities for the rest of that Dortmund team to just function. Without him before, it's like where the goals are going to come from, where's the link up. I think he's really changed the dynamic of the team. Chelsea, they look better. They look better in the last few games. Enzo Fernandez is a superstar player. Felix is a superstar player. Them two are the game changers. If they can really dominate the game, then of course you can see them doing something. But no Badiashile, Koulibaly probably comes in. That's already a bit of a change to what they've been doing recently. Their form's terrible. Dortmund are coming in 6 wins from 6. But you never know. But the thing is, I just don't trust Chelsea to score goals. And that's what I think might hurt them in the end. But also, Dortmund are one of those teams. They could just concede out of nowhere. So
I don't trust.
yeah.
You said you don't trust Chelsea. You already know I don't trust Dortmund. I just don't trust Dortmund. They can have 3, 4, 5 wins in a row in the Bundesliga. I just don't trust them. They can crumble any single time. Noor, what's your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a close game, to be honest. But I think because this is at Dortmund's ground, the first one with the yellow wall there, they may have the edge. I'm looking forward to seeing Bellingham playing this game, how he comes up against them. Todd Bowley, stay away from him. Do not talk to him. Don't even look at him.
Now you can talk to him about Jude. I can categorically tell the Chelsea fans don't get excited about Jude. Categorically. Categorically. Yeah. Don't worry about that. Don't get your hopes high. Jude ain't going anywhere near Chelsea. But Mo, this game's tantalizing for me as well. Dortmund, Jude, Brandt coming back to a bit of form. The big story, of course, Sebastian Haller of the season. But Chelsea, that pace, and Dortmund are always susceptible to pace. Mudryk is a flying winger, and Felix is settled in, probably the best attacker Chelsea have had for the last God knows how long, in only 3 games or 2 games. I think this is very, very tight to call.
Yeah. Like talking football, I think this is a 50-50 game. Both teams actually, I think Dortmund have a way better form now at the moment. They are actually in form at the moment, while Chelsea are not. But this is a personal thing. It does not represent what the channel here, the Football Khanage channel represent. This is just my opinion personally. And I talked about this. I haven't talked to this about you. The same energy that I have for PSG, I have for Chelsea, because I think the fact that they bought a centre back for £35 million in Koulibaly, and it didn't work out. And they got in the winter and bought another one. They bought a winger in Sterling. It didn't work out, or he got injured, and they went and bought 2. And they buy strikers, and it doesn't work out. It's jealousy. Yes, you can call it that, because my club doesn't have money. But also being a neutral, I think it ruins football, and it ruins football market. And I do want them to succeed, because I do want this model to be something that people will follow, that fans will see, I want my club to do the same. I want, and I know that you on the channel, people are gonna say that this is Chelsea. That oh my God, we have the money and we have this money. If the club wasn't sold by Roman Abramovich and they weren't forced to sell, they weren't going to be able to spend that much money. I think this model should be stopped in football. Now, I don't support a club in the Premier League, but I think Arsenal could have got Mudryk if Chelsea were not involved, and that they ruined it. And I think Enzo Fernandez, they just ruined the market for everybody because he's not worth £105 million. And I think this model, if any neutral football fan, we should not upload this model at all. This is just my opinion about this situation, to be honest.
I like the way you said you don't speak on behalf of Football Khanage. I appreciate that. I respect that. But goddamn, I agree. People already know. People already know my thoughts on this model and Chelsea fans online come for me every day and every night, and I love it. I fucking love it. Bring it on. You're not a real football club, man. This is not real. What your owner's doing, what your club does, what your club's done, what your club's gone through. That's not real, man. This is crazy.
Football
shit.
Manager, Grizz. Football Manager thing. It's
No, I can't do this on Football Manager. I have to go use the editor, and then
can't even use it.
And
You
if I
can't
want
even do
to,
this on Football Manager.
no, it's impossible. I can't do this on Football Manager.
You had to do this in Football Manager. You know, remember when you used to cheat and give yourself unlimited funds?
Yeah, you can do it by cheating. That's the only way I can do it, and I can't actually go in the game. Look,
let's not use that word this week. Cheating with everything that's going on. You know what I mean? Let's not use the word cheating, but let's just call it financial doping. But saying all that, I think Chelsea go through. Personally, Michael, I think Chelsea. Don't ask me what I'm basing that on. Okay. I'm basing that on I don't trust Dortmund ever. I don't trust Dortmund.
You said that earlier. Yes.
I don't trust Dortmund ever. I think Chelsea go through, Michael.
I agree, bro. I think Dortmund are the one club on this planet that can actually make Kai Havertz look decent at football. I promise you, I think Kai Havertz scores a brace tomorrow. I don't trust. Yo, Dortmund can see the funniest goals you'll ever see in your life. Yeah. You're gonna see that big pitch. You're gonna see Mudryk actually run off the pitch because he's gonna have space. Cucurella probably won't ignore him like he's been doing the last week. That's why I
don't think he's gonna play. I think Chilwell's gonna play.
Yeah, got to, because Cucurella should not be playing football after what he did against West Ham. That was just disgusting. But yeah, I just think Dortmund are the funniest club, and I just can't trust them in football. Ever since like a decade ago, yeah, I would trust them, but every season they just have funny eliminations. And Kai Havertz he's gonna be back in Germany. He's gonna like it's gonna have a feeling around him. I just feel like Kai Havertz will go off. Joao Felix is a good player. Enzo versus Jude, that's probably one of the best matchups you'll see in the round of 16. That's probably will be the two most expensive midfielders come summertime. So it's gonna be a fun matchup. But I back Chelsea. They're a weird club too. We talk about not just in Dortmund. Chelsea will pull a result out of anywhere, especially in Europe. They sacked their manager 2 years ago and won the Champions League. They're weird like that. So I'll go with Chelsea.
Chelsea fans obviously loving it and saying keep the tears coming. I hope you guys, you know what I mean, don't end up in tears, man, in a couple of years' time or whatever.
Or when they lose. Or if they lose, if they spend all this money. It's not when their club. Look,
it's entertaining, man.
I'm always I'm always kind of proved right. Like I'm telling you now, it's not sustainable. This will come back to haunt Chelsea. This last 6 months to 6 to 8 months will come back to haunt Chelsea. But going just based on tomorrow, I think you're going to go through this tie. Noor, what's your thoughts on the tie? I think Chelsea. I agree with Michael. I think Havertz misses chance after chance after chance in the Premier League. I think he's gonna tuck a couple away in the thing. You know, that's that guy right there. Champions League. He scored the winner in the Champions League final. Of course, he's still living off that goal. I think he turns up tomorrow, man. And Felix is cooking.
Yeah, can't disagree with a lot of that. Chelsea were looking a lot better versus West Ham this weekend. They're starting to get an understanding of each other. However, I still think like form plays a role. It's gonna play a role in this game.
Mm-hmm.
The team, Dortmund. I hear what you guys are saying about their they can concede silly goals here and there, However, they're in a flow right now. And when you're in a flow, you can actually produce. We've seen that with Arsenal when you're in a flow. We've seen that with City when they're in a flow. We've seen that with Liverpool when they're in a flow. I'm not comparing them as a team. However, the confidence that it breeds, the togetherness it brings, I think Dortmund can do it, man.
Okay, Bilal, you can have the final say.
Yeah, I think Dortmund will get it done, man. Over the 2 legs, I
Surprise,
don't really
surprise.
trust. No, it's not even just because you think I'm a Dortmund guy, but it's one of those ones where I look at Chelsea. They're not playing football, which I think is conducive to getting results. And when it's 2 games, I don't really trust Potter at this level yet. He's not shown me anything. And of course, Terzic as well at Dortmund, he's still very inexperienced in his own right. So yes, I get that. But he's been at Dortmund before. Obviously, Rosa came in, got sacked. He came back in. They look good. They look solid. And when you've got guys like Bellingham, don't forget what they did to Man City as well. So they've shown they can come to the big teams in England, in the Premier League, a team like Man City, and they put in some good performances already. So, yeah, I've got them to go through. And I think tomorrow is going to be the first step in them getting over the line.
Ash says Grizz is the biggest Chelsea hater ever. No wonder Chelsea fans go at him. Respect. Listen, I'm not two-faced though. At least I am who I am. I say on every platform that I'm on, I say the same shit. I don't milk it. I was on a Chelsea channel and I was like, guys, I'm on your channel, but I hate your club. I don't know why you got me. And they go, no, this is why we got you. They were like, this is why we got you. And I was like, I had hundreds of people abusing me in the chat. And I was like, sat there all like, yeah, you lot are nasty.
Is that only in the recent times, Grizz?
Ever since Roman Abramovich came and ruined my student years and
Because I
whatnot.
really didn't hate them at that time. The way Mourinho developed Damien Duff, Joe Cole, all these Drogba. Drogba was nobody coming from Marseille to Chelsea. But then lately, in the last 3-4 years, since the Havertz, Werner, Ziyech, it's like, what is going on? Why it's everything is just go and put the money. They're trying to fix it with the money, and instead of developing, like Azpilicueta when he went to Chelsea, he wasn't somebody. Gary Cahill, like Chelsea.
Don't get me wrong. Individually wise, they've had some of the best players I've seen play in the Premier League. Azpilicueta, forget about him now. People look at him now laughing at him. Azpilicueta is a Premier League Hall of Famer. Let me tell you that for a fact. Azpilicueta is a G. N'Golo Conte is an absolute G. We already know Lampard, Hazard, and Terry's of this world, and Drogba for a couple of seasons was unplayable. You see Osimhen now, Drogba was that for a season or 2. So I'm a hater, but I'm a respecter of great players. I'm a hater of you as an institution. I hate your model. I hate Roman Abramovich, but he's gone now. But the legacy still lives on because this Cowboys come in and just yeehaw, you know what I mean? He's carried on that shit, man. So, but I love some of the players. I just told you some of those players. John Terry for me, Ricardo Carvalho was one of the all-time Premier League greats. People don't want to speak on it though. People want to speak about Terry, Ferdinand, Rio, all these mans, right? Carvalho was one of the all-time centre-backs, man. Premier League. Monster, clever, smart. William Gallas. How good was William Gallas? But anyway, we digress. I hate Chelsea, but I think they go through. So I'm being honest, guys. I'm being balanced. So I'm a hater. Of course I am.
One question, Grizz. Is it a failure if you don't go through?
Chelsea?
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. The season is the Champions League now.
There is no give him time. They haven't gelled together.
He's having time. He's not up against one of the big boys in Europe.
Okay.
He's playing Dortmund.
So there is nothing here to say they're not gelling together. Because that's what I'm hearing, Grizz. That's what I'm hearing from all the Chelsea channels, right? I'm hearing give him time and all of that.
I get it. In the Premier League, 100%, and I've backed. Again, this is weird complex people have. That just because I hate Chelsea, I can't speak positively when there's something to be positive about. I can do both, man. I'm a balanced individual, I'd like to think. I can do both. I think Chelsea and Potter does need time in the Premier League. Of course he does. It's chaotic to ask Potter to come in and handle 45 stars because that's how big their squad is right now. It's madness. It's lunacy. So Graham Potter does deserve time in the Premier League. Champions League, this is a knockout. You're playing Dortmund, who aren't top 6 clubs in Europe. You're not playing a mega star team. You're playing a Dortmund that's not the same Dortmund even from probably a few years ago. You need to rise. You must get through. You must.
You heard it here. This is it.
You must get through.
The thing is, like, if you spend the 600 million, that shows there shouldn't be no time to be given to you. If you're spending 600 million within not even the season over, not 2 years, in 6 months, roughly, less or more, you should not be given time. You should be like hitting the road, man, because you're getting every single one of your targets. Every single person you wanted is given to you. There's no, so what excuse do you have? I need to work on them on the pitch. Yeah, I can understand that if you needed to, you know, work your magic with players that you inherited and you didn't know what to do with them. But as I said to you, Grizz, Potter is a changed man from Brighton to Chelsea.
Oh, you're doing this again. You're doing this again.
He changed his style, bro. People don't respect that. The guy should have stuck with his tracksuit bottoms, his jogging bottoms, and then just carried on. Be scruffy, look like you're in the lab, and work your magic. But you brought on the suit, you brought on the haircut, you fixed up the beard, bro. I'm expecting big things then.
I see. Look, Ash says zero chemistry at the moment. It's not a failure. This is what I mean. Grizz head loss when it comes to Chelsea. I've literally said you're going through.
Nah, they don't want the expectation on them. They're trying to get the free hit.
How the fuck are you like trying to downplay this? Where Chelsea and you just spent 600 million? Are you serious? Are you downplaying your team and your mega star squad? Yo, you've left out better Chile. And then you're not even going to play your 80 million centre back that you bought in Fofana. Oh, instead you're going to play Koulibaly, who was your 50 million centre back or something like that.
He's making
you're probably not going to play Cucurella, you bought for 60 million. Oh, you're going to play Chilwell, who you bought for 35 million.
50.
Get out of here, man.
Saying they want Cancelo now as well. I don't know if it's true.
Yeah,
you see that meme like we got, but I don't know if I should play it because I get copyright. Get out of here. Noor, where's that? You know that one then I'm talking about. Get out of here, man. Oh my God. Are you not serious, man? Trying to underplay the squad. Oh, we what?
He's just pissed now. You guys missed him in the chat.
If you can't beat Dortmund over 2 legs with this squad,
Oh, I love this. I'm loving this.
I'm being serious. But listen, guys, it's been fantastic. People are dropping. You can tell Chelsea fans are leaving the chat as we speak. But listen, on your way out, smash the like button because you already know we got love for everyone on this channel. It's not about Liverpool, Manchester United, Inter. Eurostars is about speaking on European football, and I think we've done a grand job today, boys. Of course, Mo, Bilal, Noor, Michael. I think we're going to be back later on in the week as well. We're going to check our squad because obviously we need to speak on this and see whose predictions were right, whose wild takes were wrong. Chelsea fans may come back to smoke us, so to speak.
We predicted them to win. We can't hold smoke. So
yeah, that's true. That's true.
I didn't get that in there.
Dortmund. The Dortmund. This brother, Meri Hiwahi, he's just been going at us. He's shouting capital letters. We will spend more 600 million this summer. Keep them tears.
No, you won't.
Can't play 45 players at the same time. That's all I know.
This is what I mean.
How many?
Look at the delusion.
7 players registered in the
look at the delusion. We will spend another 600 million. Well, you're gonna have to change your profile because he ain't gonna be there if you spend another 600. So that's the first thing you need to do, my guy.
Hey, my guy's going to Stuttgart next summer.
Exactly, man.
Onion. Get him.
We need to wrap this up, man. We can talk all night about Chelsea and make it fun. But this has been Eurostars.
This is the comment. One comment.
Which
600
one?
million is sitting behind the worst Liverpool ever.
Yeah, there you go. This is the worst Liverpool ever, and you're behind us. So, anyway, Eurostars, we out of here. Take care.